Hi there, this is Jim, the Keys bartender, coming to Key Largo. What was that? Got to start out with the sound effects. We're talking about, I was saying how beautiful the moon is. And
the moon. Beautiful. The sun. Even more beautiful.
Boom, boom. Chicka, chicka. Boom, boom.
Yeah, we're just in a weird mood, man.
Yeah, that was very cool. I got it when you started doing that.
We're all going to be a little strange.
Rarely some people just stare at people when you start doing that stuff and say, oh, what the fuck are they talking about?
Hey, you know what I told Jim right when I got home?
What?
Was that I had a realization today. That usually when I drive past the dirty store on my way home, you know, where the walking jacker was headed to that day?
Yeah. The hijacker.
Yeah, the hijacker. Usually there's just nobody ever there. And this last week, and it's getting so dark so early, I'm leaving work, it's pitch black outside, and that parking lot's full.
It's a seasonal business.
It's
anonymity and darkness.
It's dark out.
Listen,
I don't think there's a lot of people down here. Ones that go there, they go there.
Small town mentality. I saw your car. I saw your car there.
Well, Jesus.
And they all park towards
if you're
the back.
shy about it, if you go to the store at all, you're not shy about it. Because you can get all that stuff sent to your house.
The person.
I mean, they had Adam and Eve, right?
I don't know.
There's an online thing. I think it's called Adam and Eve or something like that.
You can get all of your
everything. You get everything you want
online. This is true.
Yeah. So if you're going to a store, it doesn't really matter whether it's daylight or not. I think it's just that maybe people they get intimate earlier and say, "Hey, I need some of that."
I needed some lube.
Ointment.
I needed some lube at 5:30 p.m.
I need to replace my jackrabbit.
Well, you know what I saw was that the person, these people had parked way back on the back part of the lot, so like not visible on US 1.
Yeah.
But of course, I take the back roads home because I'm 4 blocks away from.
If it was a big deal,
and
if the owner thought it was a big deal, they could just put on one side. They could put have a parking lot in the back and come up from the back, and they can have a barrier all the way around walking in there. You know how they have, in the big city, a lot of those places don't have front windows and things. And they don't do the front windows because they don't want people looking in. It used to be they didn't want the front windows because people didn't want to see them browsing. They want to see people on the outside watching browsing.
Well, you have the one in Homestead that they put a 10-foot hedge around the parking lot out front. So you can park and
nobody can see
relative anonymity.
Well, what I was saying was that this particular vehicle that I saw park and then a female get out of the car, a salt and pepper female with very short hair.
Oh, really?
And she had a bag in her hand like she was going to return something.
Oh, Jesus, that's disgusting.
My imagination just went crazy.
Oh, God. That's it.
So I just had to tell you what I saw. God.
Well,
this leather whip and chain outfit is the wrong size.
The keys. I think the bar is rather high for people to become embarrassed. The ones that people that go in there anyway, and that's kind of an impulse buy, I guess.
It was a brown bag
because you don't want to. We said that. We said about the object of returning something.
She was returning something.
I don't know if it's impulse. When I run out of
maybe
olive
she's
oil,
checking. Maybe she's getting a replacement part.
Maybe.
Or a battery.
A battery. You would.
Yeah, well,
special batteries. I don't know.
Maybe they
charging cable.
She needed a little hands-on training. When you said salt and pepper, was she like in her 60s?
I would guess that.
Really?
And I would,
good for her.
Yeah, that's good.
I applause to that lady.
I can imagine you don't see super sexy people walking in that place, right? Oh, you know who it was too.
Yes.
Okay, don't say it.
I won't.
That's all right. It's funny.
It attracts all walks of life.
Exactly.
I wanted to over this Saturday. Papa Joe and I got up. What time did you get to the?
5:45 ish.
I was there at 5:15, setting up at the Key Largo Bridge Run, and we got there. Glenn showed up, and he dropped put a bottle of wild turkey right in in front of me.
Not just any wild turkey.
Wild turkey 100. Bonded.
101.
101.
Oy.
Yeah. So we, I always said I wouldn't really drink that early, but that's actually so early. It's kind of like being out the night before. So it's not like drinking it for breakfast. It's still dark out.
Hey, in reflection of that entire event,
yeah.
Where else do you have a half marathon and a 4-mile walk run?
Yeah.
Where pretty much you're done by 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, and you give all the running, walking participants tickets for their free beer.
I think they do. I think they do that a lot.
It's like Tough Mudder. They do that too.
Do?
Yeah,
they do. I don't think it's unusual.
Well, at a Tough Mudder, which is like one of those obstacle course kind of things, those they get beer afterwards.
Do they really?
Yeah.
I just need to go to more of those,
what was that
suppose.
insignia company? I'll post it. I'm going to post it. But the company that supplied all the metals and did the engraving, they charged for the engraving and charged for the metals. They have I guess they provided the metals and then offered 20 for whatever the organizers got charged for. And then they did the engraving on site and they gave me a medal. I said, hey, since they were on the show, he said, you think you're going to engrave one for Keys Bartender podcast? And they said, yeah. So they brought it over and I took it and I already had my bag in. I think I already had the bag in the car or was about to put the bag in the car. Guy came walking over with the medal and I threw it over my neck. And I'm walking around talking to people and I didn't look at it not the medal. I looked at the medal because it was pretty cool. And people realize, it tells you got first place and things like that. But and on the band it said whether you were in the 4-mile or the half marathon. And I'm walking around and I'm talking to Gina Bellini, and she looks at me, and she looks disgusted. She goes, "You just ran the half marathon?" And I go, and she wasn't disgusted because she said, "You're not even sweating." And I go, oh, geez. I took it and I put the medal under my shirt then after that. I said, I didn't realize it said half marathon on my ribbon. And I'm walking around like that, like an asshole. Like one of those people that put on a fake uniform on Veterans Day. There's a lot of posers out there pretending to be
and then they
veterans.
try to get like free meals.
Yeah, one guy, I saw one guy where he wore khaki pants with dress blues, marine dress blues up top, and the medals were all on. I mean, they're ribbons. Your ribbons are supposed to be lined up in a certain order and a distance over your on one side. There's no wiggle room for that stuff. So these guys, like Vietnam vets, when they came back and they turned into hippies, some of them, they wear their jackets and wear headbands and stuff like that. But when you show up at a like a VFW event and then throw together different parts of your uniform, I'm like, that screams of going to an RV Navy store or something like that.
Right, yeah.
And grabbing that. Yeah. So that's what I felt like with the medal. I was walking around with that, with the half marathon, like a
you were the poser.
Yeah, people go, why don't you run? I said, well, I have a certain reason. I have a reason why. Here I am, a fitness instructor. And I think it's great. People go and do these runs and they raise money for good causes and things like that. But I don't do it because I value my kneecaps, my joints, so much. And running is
pretty much high impact.
A high impact when you're, especially bigger guys, when you do it, you're just getting all banged up. But we saw it. We were there, and what did it say? At 9 o'clock, I had 4 or 5 beers, and I was 9 o'clock. I was done.
Did you go home and take a nap?
Oh, I did. I did take a nap, and I had Saturday night off. It was great.
Nice.
We had a good time, and we took Sky. Sky was going out with her friends to movies, so we went south in the Tavernier to go out to one of the local places. I don't want to say what it was because I'll ask them. Well, it was Dylan's. We're in Dylan's.
Okay, yeah, Dylan's.
I'm sitting at the bar with Abby, and this one of Sky's one of her teachers from years ago when she was in preschool is there. And are you here with us, Jenna? Yeah. She's there with her husband, and there's 2 seats between us. And we're sitting there, and this guy comes walking up, and he's super fucking loud. And just blabbing. Ugh. And I'm thinking it's Saturday, and it's like, he goes, I want 3 seats right here. And I'm like, well, you don't. There's nobody. We don't have anybody left. And the other people on the right, they don't have another seat next to them. There's 2 people to the, it's just filled out. And I said, there's only 2 seats. Because I need 3 seats. And I'm like, fuck. And he's loud. I'm not even going to try to do his voice. Fucking loud. And I just turn around and look at him. And I just look at Abby. I said, how old do you think that guy is? And she goes, he's like 65. And I said, oh, shit. I was hoping he was like in his 50s.
Yeah.
Right? So if I had to smack the shit out of him, it wouldn't be abuse of the elderly. Right? It's 65, I think.
65, yeah.
65, and she said, he looks like he's 65. I was, but the guy's there, he's real loud, and I said, fuck, am I intolerant?
No, why didn't you just say, well, there's 3 seats over there, grab a table?
No, I was ready to get up and leave, and the people on our right moved next to us. So they didn't have to, because I kept on looking at the guy. I guess they realized I wasn't going to smack him or anything. I just wasn't going to put up with it on my day off, because every so often, I don't think I get it too much in my place. There are a couple louder people.
Yeah,
there are a couple louder people.
I know. I put a hex on one of them last time I was there.
Really? Was it a woman?
He was green shirt guy. He shut up too after I did it, but then another old guy came in after the loud guy got quiet. Green shirt guy. I've never seen him before, but I'm not out at night a whole lot. Like I would see the lunch goers before I would see the after hours peeps. But
we had
he was just epically loud. That was that day when I was sitting in the table and you kept, come over here. I said, it's too loud over there. This was that guy that was so loud, and then I sat there and stared at the back through his skull. Like,
well, Damon got a treat last night.
Oh.
We visited, by the way, for Martini Mondays.
Yes.
I did notice that.
And I broke my rule. I actually drank.
Yep, I saw that. You had a couple martinis.
I had a couple martinis. I had my favorite of the 2 that I had.
Which was your favorite?
The espresso martini.
I
the cherry was awesome. Dangerous because
it does not taste like
boy howdy. But the espresso was wonderful.
Yeah, espresso and chocolate. I hear are most of the faves, and then the peach lychee, is it?
Lychee peach, which
is
lychee
peartini.
Lychee pear.
Lychee pear.
Yeah, Damon loved that one, but he got a couple from Europe sat next to him, and they were from France.
Yes,
and
the French people stayed late.
It took about a minute for the screwed-on look to appear on Damon's face, and he just started wafting his underarm. And I went, oh. And then I noticed this couple. And they hadn't said a word yet. They just sat down.
Stinky.
They were speaking English.
Uh-huh.
But I said, Français? And Damon went, yes. And when I said Français, they heard it. I said, Appelez-vous Français? And they heard it, and the guy just stared at me, but not like threatening, like, are you someone I can talk to?
Right, yes.
And so I just did my best to avoid all eye contact.
I didn't greet him with
but holy cow, Damon was being tortured. That's why he came and he stood behind us.
And they were stinky?
Oh, evidently.
Stinky.
They're not all like
that. But they like
Europeans
the smell of
have
their
this thing
own brand.
about underarm. They don't like it. They think it causes cancer. Well,
the white stuff, right? The stuff with the aluminum outside.
They stay away. They like all natural. Natural.
There was a bit on Portlandia about that mother-son sanitary products. It was mother and son, all natural. And the woman, Carrie Lowe, goes, you just take a stick of it and you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And then you put it on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And Fred Armisen goes, and it never works, stuff like that. And you throw it away. Stuff like that. But there's, I know, that's the thing
hey, listen,
worry about. Cancer. I mean, Howard Stern said that. I think years ago, someone started mentioning that about 20 years ago about the antiperspirant. Deodorant is different.
Yes. that's just supposed to make your armpits smell nice. But antiperspirant is supposed to prevent the
sweating that causes the bacteria that develops under.
Well, it has aluminum sulfate in it, and that's Europeans, I believe, have banned it.
Yeah.
We still use it. I don't use it. I use the Natural deodorant. I don't use.
No, you use
anything with ammonia.
Arm & Hammer one.
Arm & Hammer has no ammonia sulfate in it.
Well, all the gels don't have them either.
Aluminum sulfate. Did I say ammonia
none
sulfate?
None of the gels do.
Burning arm.
Do the gels? Do the gels have
They're gels, yeah.
That have aluminum sulfate?
I'm sure there are.
I thought that was the one that only in powder.
No.
The one that no.
Well,
fuck, man. I've been under a misunderstanding about my deodorant.
Have to read the labels.
No, I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna play it out the way it goes right there because there's nothing you can do about it. I had a friend. I know some people that they think personal hygiene is optional. When you're in the public, when you work in the public, it's not.
No, of course not.
It's not. If you're a mountain man, you're one of those people in Alaska, survivor people and stuff like that. You don't have to be, if you're a construction worker, you're just out there. You could do whatever you want, but you have a responsibility. That's why restaurants and most companies say you can't have too much. You should have, you should have a modicum of care for your hygiene, but not too much. And then the opposite is putting too much cologne on and stuff like that. You ever get these people, they fucking bathe in it?
Yeah,
that's
horrible.
horrible.
Shower
It just comes in.
crap. I have a affiliate through work that is kind of known as being stinky, and that poor guy tries. Like, he uses everything he can. And some people just, no matter what they do, they're just going to stink. And he's just a stinky dude.
Did he? Well, a possibility if you change your diet.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, some people sweat profusely, that condition that causes profuse perspiration.
I'm a big sweater, but if you bathe pretty regularly, you're not going to stink up.
Listen, when I was on the job, you had to have your fingernails had to be done. You couldn't show up. Just like you can't show up with greasy fingernails.
No.
You had to be clean shaven.
Yep.
Your hair had to be cut to a certain spec. Even tattoos were regulated when tattoos became more prevalent.
Yep.
You had to be. You couldn't be offensive. Your uniform couldn't be dirty. I mean, maintaining a certain amount of hygiene is imperative when you're dealing with the public on any level.
Yep. Well, I guess if you're undercover, you
then you go for the stinky.
You go for stinky, yeah.
Yeah.
You're playing someone. So I don't know what to tell people out there, but it's like we mentioned in a previous podcast about a Supreme Court judge who said something about porn. He says, "I can't tell you what porn is, but you show it to me, I can tell you if it's pornography or something like that." I'm trying to phrase. It's hard to do this when there's a conversation going on next to me. I'm at a loss for words.
You got sidetracked.
I got sidetracked when someone was talking next to me.
Sorry, well, my husband just got home.
I know, I understand.
And I get it. Some of us are fortunate enough to be able to drive your boat to work. So he drove the boat to work today and just came home via boat. And then, we just had to have a...
Hi, Tyler.
Yeah.
Hi, Tyler.
Okay. So we were talking about hygiene.
Yes.
And it's what one of the Supreme Court judges said about porn. He says, I can't describe what it is, but if you show me, I can tell you if it's pornography. Now, with personal hygiene, you could say keep yourself. They have a general terminology for it. It is shaky. There's no. Is there a level? You can't say.
Well, it's subjective.
I mean, you could tell someone it is objective. You're going to say, listen, this one person may have not bathed in 2 days, and they may be fine. This person could have bathed in the morning and stink. Well, I know if I'm out drinking the night before heavily when I was younger, I used to reek the next day, no matter what I did. I used to reek. It was horrible. You ever have that? Where you just ingest so much chemicals and stuff like that?
Really?
From drinking too much?
But I'm not a hard liquor drinker.
Yeah.
Really, I'm more like a
Well,
light
you,
beer kind of
Tyler?
girl. But
when you drink a lot,
There's nights where I come home and the next morning I'm still like,
even if you bathe.
still usually sweating out the booze the night before. It's like you still smell
yeah, he does. He'll smell like booze.
Yeah,
the
so
next
it comes out your pores. You
Yeah.
know, you have all that stuff in your system. It takes a day to get out.
I did it the night before I had a jury duty because normally I didn't have to get down there till 9, and I mentioned it before, and I'm sitting there. I had shaken, sweating, my stomach's rumbling, and all this stuff, and I go, wow, I know I was not a pleasure to sit in the jury box that day. I mean, it's just like the people are looking at me during questioning. They're not looking at the defendant. They're looking at the guy, juror number 4.
Who's recovering?
Who's recovering. And the one I was sequestered, we went out. We were sequestered on a murder trial. And it happened on a Friday. And everyone's going, Friday, and they're angry. And so what they did is got manager to let us into a cocktail party, and we could only all have one drink. Like, what a stupid idea this was. There's a reason why people. Have you seen the movie? What was that movie with John Cusack, where the juror
No,
or something like
haven't
that?
seen it. No.
Gene Hackman, where they flip Rachel Weisz and they flip the jury around, and he sneaks onto the jury and stuff like that, and they get someone drunk or give her booze during the thing. But it's the first night of sequester, they take us into a cocktail party, one drink, and there's 12 people and 2 alternates. I don't know if the 2 alternates were. No, they let them go. They let the 2 alternates go. And so we're in the party, and 5 of the people don't drink, right? And who do they give their drink tickets to?
You.
Me. The foreman. So I had 5 gimlets. Actually, maybe I had 7 because I tipped the guy like $20. It was kind of like an open bar thing, so I gave him $20, and he gave me. So it was like I was lit, and we were supposed to sit in a conference room an hour after that and deliberate.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
That must have been fun.
Oh, it was fun. I was lit. We didn't make the decision then, though. I made so many arguments there, and then the next time. The guy should be out of jail. He should be out of jail for 10 years. So, but the guy was guilty. Wasn't when we knew he was guilty at the end of it. Just as there was 2 people holding out, because 2 of them thought he was first degree murder, but that wasn't on the charging sheet. So they weren't going to charge him with the one they had because they thought it was more serious. They said, go with the maximum they have, which is manslaughter. It was a gunfight.
Okay.
There were 2 guns. So go with the maximum. And then did not go guilty because the higher charge wasn't present on the sheet. I said, then the only alternative you're going to go is not guilty. If you don't, because there's not an
In other words, you had 2 jurors that said, no, he should be charged with murder.
Yeah.
I'm not playing this game.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, wonderful.
I said, well, you're not playing this game. Who's playing this game? The district attorney who set up those charges. So,
yeah, I mean, the state attorney makes their case based upon the totality of what's in front of them.
Yeah.
And if they thought that the manslaughter was the better win than going for what they felt he may have done, which was first degree, but there wasn't as much supportive evidence to convince a jury, then a state attorney does the right thing and goes with a lesser offense.
Actually, I don't know how they got on the jury, because the one of the people said, well, I think he should get the death penalty. I said, first of all,
we're not here for that.
I said, it's not a capital, he wasn't charged with a capital offense. And they said in the beginning. They said it in the beginning of the trial. So you should have recused yourself, and they should have had another, they could have had the alternate come on there. If you can't find it, not because you think they're guilty. And they said, no, the judge says that's not a good enough reason to send. And there was, because
it's your job as a foreman to bring them around.
Yeah. Oh, that was crazy. I had to bring them back down. I'm not convinced. It wasn't like 12 angry men.
Right.
It was like 6 angry women and men and 4
lunatics,
regular people, and 2 assholes. two ignorant assholes. The two ignorant assholes that wanted them to get the death penalty. Okay, well, listen, we're 25 minutes into it. We should take a break. Okay?
Break time.
Come right back.
Whether you're one of our regular visitors to the Florida Keys or you can't wait to visit for the first time, you'll want to stay up to date on everything that's going on in the Florida Keys. To learn all the secrets, tips, and the stuff we don't talk about to anyone but each other, visit 43keys.com. Sign up for our newsletter and never miss any of the exciting things we have planned for you. That's 43 Keys, the number 4, the number 3, keys.com.
Hey, we're back.
We're back.
Oh, that's a
Where
little,
are we back from?
We're back from the pee break.
Okay.
We're back from outer space. And how's that song? We're back from outer space. I said, and this look upon your face, you should have.
Okay, we're the same age, but where you come up with
I
some
will
of the songs-
survive.
Back
Oh, I
from
will
outer
survive.
space. Oh, I know what you're
Yeah.
Oh,
With that
my
look
God.
upon your face,
Yep.
you
Yeah.
should have
That look upon your
something
face.
turned that
You
stupid
should
lie.
have. Yep.
It sounds like a cat having sex.
Yeah. Gloria Gaynor? No.
Yeah, no, I think it is Gloria.
Oh, it is?
Gloria Gaynor.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're back. We mentioned Gloria, and
Yes.
we're going to get to Papa Joe.
Well, this was
the daughter
because
Gloria
we're talking about
was
our
on the road.
listeners, and one of our biggest listeners is, of course, FG.
She's not that big.
Well, she's not that big.
She's a
but
little woman.
She is.
I
She's
just had to defend
she's
you,
a tiny
Gloria.
Little shit.
Well, you know what? I can't call her shit. And
She's
hasn't
a little shit.
She hasn't said anything to me that was offensive, or I can even say call her effing Gloria.
Oh, give it
'Cause
time.
they-
Give it
oh, yeah,
time.
because she's a fan.
Just
you're an
wait. You'll call her fucking
speaking
Gloria.
of fans, before we get
Fucking
to
grandma.
Gloria,
I mean, that's
before
what FG
Gloria, we
stands for.
mentioned
Grandma's awesome.
Martini.
Grandma's insane.
Martini Mondays. You finally got to meet someone who was from out of the area. That girl.
Oh, yes.
The girl who is the city planner for one of the ones down here,
Yep.
and she's from Ohio, and she, people come in and say, hey, remember me? And it takes me give me 15, 20 seconds of talking, and I'll get some of the clues and all that stuff. I said, you're the person that listened to us before we came down, because there was you're going to get your information of the keys from us?
Oops.
Right?
Oh, that we actually put that in our rate sheet we'll talk about on the second
Yeah.
our second episode.
FG. So fucking grandma wants to
She
know.
was on the road, and she's
she's
back.
Well, she's been back for a while, but she listened to.
I thought she was roaming around in her
Oh,
mobile
she
home.
was. She was roaming around in her bus for a while, and then she went home. Then she roamed in her bus again, and then went put in storage because it's cold as fuck up there now. So you got to put
Okay, you
everything
got to
away.
put it inside, yeah.
But she was listening to the episode titled "Rule Number 7" the other day. And so she texted me out of nowhere and said, what's rules number 1 through 6?
The 1 through 6 is
And I said, I don't have
1
freaking
through
out.
7, no cutoffs. One of them is
Yeah, well, because
there's-
these are rules for the pool,
no
by
children
the way.
under 12.
Unaccompanied.
Please do not go in the pool if you can't swim. Something
Yeah.
like that.
No diving.
No diving, no running.
Yeah, I know. And that's why we call why rule number 7 is if you're ill with diarrhea, which I think that could be almost everybody's unspoken one.
Yeah.
If you're decapitated, no decapitated people, whatever.
Decapitated people, yes.
No decapitated
It's kind of like
people.
the signs on the Yamaha jet
No,
boats.
yeah, no llamas.
You know,
exactly.
please keep your vagina away from the nozzle. Okay. And it says that on them. Each one.
What? On what?
On a Yamaha jet boat, there is
says vagina?
Oh, yes.
Not genitals?
It says vagina.
Specifically,
It does.
the female part, you don't
Specifically
want a force
keep-
of water being blown
yes.
into your hoo-hoo.
Yes, because they are a jet propulsion with a little nozzle that shoots water.
One, that's a
And-
person's asshole.
Yeah, it does say
Well,
any bodily orifices, I think, including vaginas and rectums, and something else. I don't remember.
Now-
That would be
we-
like a really specific type
Now
of
we're
enema.
gonna start some
when you shoot
some
a
freaky sex shit.
Right?
Yeah.
We probably
Hey
are.
man,
but
I need to buy a jet boat.
so
Yeah, but I
maybe
wanna
they
get a
should
shot.
say
I
that in
wanna
the
get a
pool. Maybe that should be rule
1200
number
PSI
6.
shot up my ass.
Please keep your nose holes, your mouth, your butthole, and your vagina off of the the spray pump.
Remember,
thing.
in
What's that called?
The jet nozzle.
The jet nozzle.
HBO
in
show.
a pool.
You ever see this?
Is it the same thing?
I don't know.
That well, it's interesting. You said that there was a show on HBO called 6 Feet Under about
Yes,
family undertaker.
I remember that.
And every episode was introduced
By
with
the
someone's death.
And it was the one of the. Was that the one with the bottom of the pool grate?
Oh, person got stuck.
Asshole got sucked out.
Oh, here it is.
Like
Straw
inside
streams of water from the jet nozzle can be dangerous and can result in serious injury when directed at bodily orifices, rectum and vagina.
Yeah.
Okay.
So please keep your rectum and your vagina away from the jet pump.
In the water behind the jet nozzle or when a passenger is climbing on. Oh, okay. So there were the one. So you said the one was a pool grate?
I think the one you might be talking about.
No,
6 feet under?
I just remembered certain different.
Was the pool
Different one. Was it someone's? Oh, I do remember that one.
Yeah.
It was the water jets.
They got stuck in the bottom of the pool. Yeah.
The drain. Got stuck in the drain.
So it was, the drain like.
Oh shit! I would
bottom.
maybe no
You didn't get a
problem.
vagina
Ripping
stuck in the
you
drain?
wouldn't have no problem.
I thought there was I thought there was a real scenario where somebody's butthole was basically stuck over that drain, and they got their intestines like sucked out of their ass.
Ew.
Oh, well, huh? There was one. I remember one lady. It was some like a bachelorette party, and they're in a limo, and she does the Ferris Bueller in the center of the limo. Did he do that in the center of the limo? Where he's standing in the middle of it?
No, that was the friend in the back of the Ferrari.
Okay, well,
Where
no,
he
it was
kinda
one
stands
back in
up.
no, but in the one in the 6 feet under, it's the opening. The woman's standing in the middle of a limo and in the sunroof, I guess, and a low
street sign.
street sign took off the top of her head.
Ew.
Yeah, I saw
Gross.
that. So yeah, I guess I mean, would that be? It would kind of be hard to go to the file a civil suit. You know, he said, "Well, what did you do?" And he said, it's like on a hook. Like I know, do you have to put everything? You got a bucket. Everyone knows what's the sign they show in a bucket? What's the image they have on the side of a bucket?
Like
A 5-gallon bucket.
Don't put it over your head.
don't yeah.
No, it's a baby.
Yeah, it's like don't.
It's a baby.
Don't put your baby in the
climbing
bucket.
into it. Don't put your baby upside down in a bucket or your baby. Now, think about most things out there. If that baby makes it through life and dies going into a bucket, they were probably going to die anyway.
Yeah, I was going to say the
They
reason
were probably
going to
die. I hate to say it,
labels,
and I don't mean to don't make light of it and stuff. Yeah, because there was
is because somebody's done that.
someone's done it, and it's what do they call that part? There's punitive. It's the punitive damages, and it reduces the punitive damages when you do it. It's like the McDonald's hot coffee one because they said they had to have the coffee at 210 degrees.
We did.
Yeah, 210 degrees, and they said no. The punitive damages was for them to change their manual to say no. Maybe we'll keep it at 185.
Yeah.
You know, instead
Or
of
it's like
210.
135 or something.
Yeah.
Is where it should have been.
Yeah, when you
or something,
violate grossly the industry standard.
Yes, and that's what punitive. But the bucket, the picture of the bucket on the side.
That
of
just
it,
means that somebody had a bucket and it sat outside in the rain.
How do they sell
And their
power
kid
tools?
went outside.
I mean,
Oh,
we
no,
were
power
talking the
tools.
other day
Yeah, they
with
come with
people.
warnings.
People, what?
They come with
yeah, they have a
warnings.
lot of warning stickers on them too.
You have like when you have a manual.
What are you going
to
to tell when someone about a bandsaw?
What about the belt sander guy? Like there should be a sticker on the side of the belt sander that says, "Please don't use this to masturbate with."
Oh,
your
the belt-
scrotum.
No, that was
Your
a scrotum self-repair guy.
Maybe
that was a New England Journal of Medicine.
Yeah.
It wasn't a belt sander. It was a canvas dry belt on a machine. And he was masturbating against it, and then he lost
his scrotum.
He lost
like the skin around
he
his.
lost
the
his
scrotum itself.
It
concentration.
looked like my finger that time I got it stuck in the belt sander.
Yes, and then he stapled it back on.
He got his nutsack caught in and ripped out his nut, and he used industrial staplers, and they got infected.
And they got infected, yeah. So he literally ripped the skin off of his nutsack and then recovered his
Imagine,
his bare testes
being
and
in that much
stapled it
pain.
back on.
I guess the guy had to be in shock because there's no way.
Let's not forget
you
the
have
role
that wherewithal that you're
drugs
concerned.
might be playing on this
No,
scenario.
but you're thinking, oh, this is embarrassing.
Right.
That is the last thing I would be thinking. This is embarrassing. The last thing I'm thinking is I got my balls ripped off. But this guy had enough wherewithal in it. The shame part of his brain overrode the pain part.
Or have you ever given yourself a stitch before? I've given myself a
I
stitch.
did on my knee.
Right. So because when you like separate your skin that far, if you separate the nerve as well, you can't feel it. You really can't feel it if you give yourself a stitch. It's a good enough stitch. You can't feel it. So he probably lost all
Feel like that guy in
feeling in his nutsack
who was the guy
that was
in it?
dangling.
Was that the Pan's Labyrinth? Did you ever see that Spanish movie? Okay, well, he sews up his cheek. It gets cut open. This Spanish major has this, or captain, major or something, has this, someone takes a knife and puts a 4-inch gash in the side of his mouth and he sews it up himself.
Yeah.
And, or in No Country for Old Men.
Oh.
Remember that, where he sews his... Yeah, where he sews his...
the shotgun wound in the knee.
leg.
Yeah.
I just had to go
just
take
saw
everything
that movie
out.
the other day.
Yeah. When you're doing it to yourself, I guess that's... I don't know how I feel about that. I'm not as squeamish when it's mine. But someone else is, why the fuck are we talking about this?
I have no idea. This is how we get to this point.
Let's get back to...
we need to get back to our other listeners.
You said she wants to know what the pool... We satisfied the pool...
We satisfied the pool list,
rules.
I think, maybe. But we do have to say hello to Joya.
Joya.
Would you like to introduce Joya?
Joya
daughter.
is my daughter and a new mom. Yeah. So Joya, Jordan, and baby Miles.
Yes. And this is Joe's second daughter.
Yes.
So, yes. He has another daughter as well.
Jessica is
your oldest.
The oldest, and then Joya. And Joya just gave birth a few months ago.
She did to the cutest baby.
He's such a cutie. Yeah. So Joya is probably listening.
Well, she'll eventually Joya. In the future.
Yep, and we're sorry for the nutsack conversation, Joya, but with your humor, you'll giggle.
Oh, yeah, well, you know, the baby,
the my child, she's heard worse.
The baby. Well, how does she have any children older?
No,
this is her first child?
This is her very first.
Oh, good.
Baby.
Then we could say all this stuff. If we say it,
please don't let your baby go upside down in the.
Who has a good ball sack?
Yeah,
who has a good ball sack?
Keep Miles away from any Sanders and his ball sack.
Yeah, and a bucket, and buckets,
Buckets bad.
Yeah, buckets bad.
Yeah,
she's gonna be like, "You guys are dumb." God, she's like, "I don't need warning labels."
I mean, the same thing with the pellet guns and things like that. People get them. I told you about my relative, not my relative through marriage. He shot himself in the hand. Brother-in-law.
With a gun or a pellet gun?
With a gun.
Ouch. And
he goes, "Oh yeah," and he says, "We're talking." I remember a couple weeks later, I'm at the house. I'm looking. I go, "Okay, you know now not to. If you were drinking, not to bring out your gun. Start cleaning your gun." So he goes, "Yeah." He said, "Well, where'd it go?" He goes, "Where did what go? The bullet?" "Oh, it just went in the cabinet." He just went in the cabinet. Well, he just went in the cabinet. I said, "Where's the slug?" So I said, "Well, it did not stop. You know, if you just have the hole." You have to, if you don't have the slug, it went someplace else.
Yeah, where did it end
up? Did it go through the wall into your neighbors or anything? Did you check any of that? And we're looking, and I'm looking through there. He says, "Well, here's the hole, and then there's a coffee pot right here." And I said, "Oh, it didn't hit the coffee pot." So it missed the glass, and it went through the plastic part of the coffee maker and out the back into the because the glass didn't break. He didn't look behind that. It went through the plastic part and into the wall behind the cabinet, where I assumed it is lodged because there's no hole on the other side. So I was just trying to explain to him. I said, "You were in the Army. What do you think? It disintegrated? You know? I mean,
where do you?
That's where I always like the first thing whenever I if I see a bullet hole someplace, I trace it. Where did it go?
Well, yeah, you got to know.
I don't
where
ever
it
see
ended
too
up.
many. Yeah, like I've seen them in cars.
You got to know where it ends up. You got to, answer the question: did anyone else get hurt?
Yeah. I mean, it's not like it's a shotgun shell where you just have 9 million BBs flying
Well,
at
they
you.
stop. They stop. What I mean, once they go through something, they don't. If they're thin, if it's a small enough medium, yes, it'll keep on going. But a bullet has a lot more directed capacity.
Yeah.
I
Force.
put a gun in my daughter's hands when she was, I think, 11.
Yeah.
So she's a
good shot.
She's a good shot. She's an excellent shot. She shoots better than I do.
Yeah. Well,
Same daughter. This is Joy.
I think the thing they worry about is not only that, it's
Jessica's a good shot.
the state of
Jessica.
state of someone's mind when they have it. You know what I mean? Because remember that guy Chris, whatever, the guy they made that movie, American Sniper.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
What he decided to do. Whatever you view about the guy, I understand, but I question the wisdom to take people with PTSD to a shooting range if they have it from war. I don't get how that is the best course of action, right?
Yeah, especially if you're, he was highly trained as a Navy SEAL, but maybe not so well trained in psychology.
Yeah, you don't take PTSD. Yeah, it brings back your confidence. Some guys,
I get
there's
his
a possibility
intention.
if you're afraid of, every time you see a gunshot and you go there and if that reduces the stress of hearing that, yes. But some people, if that's the trigger, like for them to do something. I mean, everyone's reaction is different with PTSD.
What is their thought process?
I mean,
like face your fears type of thing?
Yeah, that was his intention, was
sound
get
of
back
bullet,
in the saddle and, you can do this and restore
yeah,
confidence.
a bullet, hearing the sound of a gunshot could incite you to shut down or incite you to
freak out.
And there's two different reactions.
Like a fight
it's completely
or flight,
different.
but if
yeah,
you
it's a
chose
completely
fight-
different reaction.
Right.
It's just like when you're talking to, we see people all the time. You get old enough, and especially when you're either in law enforcement or service industry or anything, you see people, you're going to come across someone that's unstable, and you're going to say something to somebody on some day that triggers something, and you've all had it, right? You've had it. I mean, you've had it especially.
Oh, yeah. And then
And
now
a highly
imagine that person with a gun in their hand.
Boom. Okay.
Yeah, no.
No,
No, thank you.
so we, where were we at?
Well, you were talking about but this Chris guy with American Sniper guy. But I mean, I didn't.
No.
I thought he was trying to save lives. Did he not?
Like
Or
I
was
said,
he the-
I know according to
Well,
the
it was for
movie,
treating. He was taking guys that
the
were had
intention was
PTSD.
right, but the
To the gun
methodology
range.
may have been a little bit
Okay.
not the best.
He was taking guys to the gun range.
yes.
Okay, and then one of them freaked out.
and shot him.
And okay.
It's just like
Did it shoot-
it's
did
just
they
like
shoot
the gun.
him only?
There was a guy at a gun range, and he had. They said, "Can he had a machine pistol?" He said, "Can my kid be trained to use the machine pistol? Can he fire the machine pistol?" And the instructor said, "Yes." And the instructor, what happened? He gave a kid a machine pistol with underdeveloped muscles, and he killed the guy. Because on a machine pistol, you may be able to control it if with one shot. You got YouTube videos of people that can't handle guns, right? The way they fire them and they hold it away from them so the butt is away from them.
Yeah,
And when
well,
it fires,
yeah,
it hits
rifle,
them
yep.
And knocks them on their ass. A shotgun, you got to have that planted. You got to be leaning into it. You got to be ready to take it. You got to know what that feeling's like, right? Well, this kid had a machine pistol, and you multiply every time when you fire it. It's walking up. It walks up, and he walked it, and the way kid controlled it, he spun right into the guy and stitched him across. Killed him. That was everyone involved in that except for the kid. Except for the kid was wrong.
Yeah, of course.
Everyone, when people do that, everyone involved in that except for the kid. And who got hurt? Well, obviously the guy that was killed got hurt the most. But he's an adult. Should have fucking known not to put a machine pistol in someone's hand, right?
Well, I would say not to put a machine pistol in a child's hands, but not to put one in anyone's hands without the proper pre-training.
Well, even
I mean, that's up to the range instructor.
You don't want to really stay next to them if they're going to do it, and you should maybe only give them like 2. You give them a shot. Yeah. Give them 1. You could put 1 round in it. You could put 1 round. It just won't repeat.
You could put 1 or 2 or 3.
1, and you just show them.
But you got to be hovering over them like a cloud. I mean, when you're training someone to shoot a gun, who has no practical experience with a gun.
If it's 1 round, and you're pointing it down range, and you squeeze it, it's going to go down range.
But there's no other bullet.
There's no other bullet. It could kick out wherever you want. It could kick out. There's not anything going. That's for if you need to do that. But it's kind of ridiculous. You should be on a revolver first or some. Yeah.
When I bring people to the range who have not shot before,
you should have
you have to be present and on top of them because
they should shoot a double action first,
right?
Before one you have to squeeze off. No semi-automatic, nothing. That is not the first experience you're going to have with it. And even with if you get something that's fully automatic, then you better be advanced. But I have, and it's horrible when you hear that stuff. And I'm one of those waiting periods guys. I think they should do background checks and stuff like that.
Of course.
I
agree.
Yeah, so that's the main thing. Background checks and mental health should be a criteria, and certainly should be factored in for the purchase of a weapon. If someone has, I'm sorry, if you have a domestic violence charge against you, you don't get it.
No, you shouldn't get it because of the recidivism in domestic violence cases. Yep. You should not have a weapon. In fact, a lot of domestic violence law requires the police to go into the home and remove weapons for at least a time and a period. And you may, depending on the judge, lose them permanently.
People get all angry that any infringement on rights is infringement against all rights. And that's just crazy.
Yeah, well, listen, obviously these days, Second Amendment's very touchy with some people. Everyone thinks that when you talk about regulating even in the slightest, most common sense oriented way, it means that the entire amendment is going in the trash can. And you can't reason with the unreasonable. I quit doing that a long time ago.
Yeah, they have that. They didn't have automatic muskets back then. So you say like this: if you're angry at someone and you fire one shot and go, "Ooh, you motherfucker!" and then you had to go and take it,
and you had to put your gunpowder in there.
Shit, I forgot the ball. Put the ball in it. Oh, the powder! I got to recharge the cloth. I got to put the little striking powder.
I have the answer to solving all of this that will piss every gun owner off, but it is a strict adherence to the constitutional language. You want a gun? You have to join, and every state must open up to membership. Anyone who wants to be part of the state militia, and then the state gets to regulate the militia and decide what weapons you will have.
Okay, the state.
That's part of a well-regulated. You want to be specific and be a constitutionalist.
Until recently, in Switzerland, all the reservists kept their sidearms.
Every household has an assault rifle in it.
Well, every reservist.
Everyone is in the reserve. No, everyone does reserve time.
No. I mean, just like it's kind of like Israel too. There are some waivers for it and stuff like that. Believe it or not.
Are bone spurs part of it?
What? It's bone spurs. Yeah. Okay. Oh man. It's funny, I'm not the one doing that first. No. Yeah. Bone sports and porn addiction.
Do you have a firearm?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yep. I have it in a safe. I have one. The last time I took it out, I was at the firing range just to see if my eye was. I'm good at 50 feet and hitting somebody.
Cool.
Center mass.
Papa has many.
I think I freaked out the guy at the gun range the other day because I put my target at the far end as far as it'll go, so it's like 30 yards at Kiffney's.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And there was a guy that had it about 7 yards And he was just shooting a gun that he brought in. You know, he's using a target with 5 individual targets on the one sheet, right? And you do that so you can hone in your sights.
Yeah.
I have a target that's a blue man silhouette.
Yeah.
It's what we used on the department. Except I have adhesive bullseye targets. And on the adhesive bullseye target, which covers a torso, because I believe in center mass, it comes with the little adhesive dots that you can put over your bullet hole so you can reuse it over and over again.
Yeah.
Except I put the dot in the golden triangle, which is just below the nose, and the forehead. And I send this thing all the way at the end. And I'm punching a hole in this target with my 45, and I figure I'm almost done, but I haven't hit either of these dots. All right, let me load up one more magazine. So I load up one more magazine. I punch a few holes, and I'm counting my shots, and I know I got 2 shots left, and it just worked out this way. Boom, boom, and I took out both holes at 30 yards with a government 45. And all right, so I was happy. You know, it's a test of confidence, long-range shot with a pistol. Yeah. And then I do what I always do. I bring the target back up, I pull it down, and I tear it up in pieces. I don't want anyone seeing my target.
Right.
Why?
It's just a thing.
Wait.
I do it for me. I don't do it for anyone else. So I tear it up.
Oh, yeah, I don't bring my targets back.
No, but I tear it up.
But I mean, I don't. Someone looks at your target.
So the guy, when we went into the room, we got there at the same time. He was all friendly. Hey, man, I was like, hey, nice to see you. Hey, okay. Leaving, not a word. He was just staring at me like I was an alien.
Fucker just hit both these targets, and then he tore it up before he left.
No, I was laughing.
I think
thought it was
that's
funny.
very impressive. I always had this thing. If someone, I mean, it should. I always think 50 feet is my, or a little 15 between 15 and 20 yards away, is the maximum distance if I was going to be certain I was going to hit someone with a handgun.
Right.
For me, and then after that, it would be a rifle if I had a, so, and that's me.
Doesn't a lot of that have to do with, because, like, I have a baby gun. Like, I have a bodyguard. It's a 380.
No, it's good. Right. Most of it's below 10 feet.
But
10 feet.
Right. So,
going to a firing range, 10 feet. You get 10 feet.
3 to 5 yards.
Right. Yeah. But doesn't it really depend on that gun? Because, like, even Damon.
You mean stopping power or something?
Well, yeah. Well, and
accuracy.
the accuracy and the drop that will occur with the
There's no drop. There's no drop.
There's no drop at that.
There's no drop. It's going to be like
would you be
quarter
just
inch,
as accurate from 30 yards with a 380 that you would
be? Your gun at 30 feet.
Let's give you some.
Yes.
With the old pistols they used in colonial times, like Hamilton, those were. They were
44 caliber, 41 caliber musket balls.
Musket balls.
Yeah.
And they did it, how many paces? 10 paces, 20. So 10 paces and turn, so that 2.5 feet, 25, 50 feet away. And they were notoriously inaccurate. Because
they were smooth bore.
Yeah. These little guns, if you're here, it's here and here. You're going to hit wherever. I mean, that's it. But that now, like at this distance from that eyelet over here, and I'm pointing about 25 feet away, getting a bullet through the eyelet, then it starts taking some aiming and thing to go up there. But in between this distance, you're pretty good to go.
But like
putting a couple bullets in, someone stops them.
Well, like Damon was saying, like,
not everyone.
Caliber wise, though, like obviously a 45 would take somebody out in one shot. But he was like, your gun will stop somebody, but you got to keep shooting. You got to keep shooting.
Well,
because it's
actually, a 22, if you took a 22 and stuck it to the back of someone's head.
Well, yeah, but I'm not talking about. Like,
what? If you took a 22 and hit someone in the torso, that little round bounces around and just takes out your organs. So. Well,
I mean, but if you wanted to put them down right then. The mafia used right there. They hit them right. They go up right behind
their. We're not talking about assassinations.
Well, no, I know, but if you put someone on the ground and then you put it, this is so morbid.
Don't you have to pay attention?
It's so morbid.
Well,
we were talking about iguanas, okay, with pellet guns, okay, and I'm not. I saw a dead iguana in the street. I'm not I'm so fucking not a killer. It's
Yeah, but
hard
don't
for me
they
to
annoy
shoot.
you though?
I'm getting this thing. I got this thing. I love living things. I started having a problem. They had what right? People say why? Because they're invasive. We had this discussion before. Who's the most invasive creature in the world?
We are. Absolutely.
Humans are. We're
like
not only
cancer.
invasive here. We'll go to another fucking planet. We're going to go to another planet. Cockroaches don't build spaceships. They'll get on a spaceship. Okay, yeah, they didn't build it. We're building it. We're going to go. We're looking up and say, we're consciously deciding we're going to go there.
Nobody ever answered my question.
Which was?
God, you guys.
What, about shooting somebody? No, it's getting morbid.
All right, how about this? That wasn't morbid. It wasn't a morbid question.
What was your question?
My question was, when does distance actually affect the drop of the bullet?
Depends on
It's
the bullet.
gravity. It's always gravity.
I know, but how far?
No, but it depends on this.
How far do you go?
Okay, but
that's
you're going to
why I
have
was
it.
saying,
If after a second, it's going to drop but you're great unless you're putting in the air. Listen, it's only 9.6 meters per second, right? Gravity. 9.6 meters per second. So if you fire a gun, right, however much powder it packs and the speed of it, in 1 second, if it's 9.6 meters above the ground, in 1 second, it's going to drop that distance to go into the ground. And that's what you have. So whatever the speed is out of the barrel, so in 10 feet is not going to happen. Now, from here to here, from here to that red light over there, there'll be a drop.
That's what I'm saying. So from a distance of 30 yards, will a 45 and a 380...
That's a very short distance for the velocities.
That's
not
what I
much.
was asking.
It's negligible.
Quarter
you
inch.
would only
it depends.
typically...
It depends on the amount of charge that bullet has, the weight of that bullet, on when that drop occurs.
Okay, well, the weight because of the speed it's all the speed. It has to do with the speed.
It's velocity, so it's going to be the grain of the bullet, the amount of energy pushing it, and every type of bullet's going to be different.
So is it only technically like the snipers that have
hour.
to worry about the distance?
Yeah, well, you ever see them? You ever seen old?
They have to worry about the curvature of the earth,
and they got to worry about the wind. They got to worry about wind. Windage. Windage is important. When there's a wind coming out, let's say it's from
the left, you have to compensate.
You have to compensate.
The right.
Yeah, that's going to move the.
But how far of a distance are we talking before you actually have to start using all those different calculations?
Every bullet's different.
Yeah. They got these things. They got flechettes. They have all different types of bullets.
I'm a math nerd. I like to know these things.
Well, the math you should know exactly then.
Well, but that's what
you
I'm
look
saying.
It up, by the way, there are
no. But if they tell you the speed of the bullet, if they say this will go downrange 1,200 yards in 1 second, then about 30 feet is the amount of drop that's going to be in a bullet, and that's why when they have the scopes, they got the gradient going up on it, and you see hash marks going up, and it'll tell you distance, and they take up the distance, 100, 150 yards, 200 yards, and it ticks it up. So you elevate your gun to get it. So
to compensate for the drop.
Yeah, for the drop.
Right.
There's you can get them on your phone. They're interactive. You can put specifically like federal ammunition, 95 grain, 380. And it will tell you exactly what the speed of that bullet is, and it will tell you the drop and where it occurs, and it'll give you the graph.
But it really doesn't. It's a scope.
Cool.
It's a scope you want. The scope is going to adjust for that.
You will make the appropriate adjustment using
and they have these laser sighters that tell you the distance to target and factor in the distance to the target. Now, without an anemometer knowing the wind, it's all for naught. If it's like here, there's virtually not. And sometimes, you know what they use the gauge for? Humidity. In drier air.
Those are for pretty long shots.
Yeah. A drier air is much better than more humid.
What would be like the longest distance of a shot?
Oh, I don't know that. I think there was a Russian guy. There was always English. Like they saying like 1.5 miles, 2 miles or something.
I believe he was an American holds one of the records, and I believe an English sniper holds one that's almost or just over 1.5 miles.
Yeah.
And that's an astounding distance when you think about it, because that's where curvature of the Earth comes in, and the windage, and the humidity, the wind, all of it, and a lot of that.
Cool.
You know, snipers, they have their spotters, and the spotters have to make these assessments on the go.
Right.
Wind.
Like, how fast is your wind? How this and that.
Hey, we
have
want to
to
have a
make
second
the
show.
best
We're
guess.
going to have to wrap this up.
That
soon,
was
man.
so cool, though.
I know, but this is not really happy.
It's
No, it's
not.
not.
No more happy. No more
I just wanted
sad bullet shooting.
We weren't talking
Let's talk about the sex store again.
No, we'll get back to it. Listen, this is Jim the Keys bartender. It's 1 hour.
1 hour.
We'll be back. We'll be back. Say goodbye, guys.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.